For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Let's clear out winter and clean up the lawn with Spring Black Friday savings at the Home Depot. Right now, get the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower for just $89 and make your lawn work easier with a powerful 90 miles an hour of clearing power. And with convenient online shopping, you can order on the app, pick up in store, and get outside sooner. Get your yard spring ready with the Ryobi One Plus leaf blower, now just $89 during Spring Black Friday at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by Brain MD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. And right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey everyone, I'm Brian Austin Green.
I'm Sharna Burgess.
And I'm Randy Spelling.
And you are listening to Oldish, an iHeartRadio podcast. Hi everybody.
Hi.
Hey there.
Why am I always the one that has to speak first?
Because you just do. Like, I will gladly
I just do because
first.
Otherwise it's just complete silence if I don't.
No, it's not true.
Now I just wait. I'm like, okay, Brian's going to say hi.
Okay.
That's exactly me too. I just wait for you to
hello
intro.
everyone. Welcome to another episode of Oldish. Here we are. This is an exciting one. We have a really exciting guest that we don't want to waste too much time in speaking in the beginning before we get into him. But
I kind of want to waste a little time because I've actually worked with him.
It's what we do. It's what I do well.
It's not
so I drag all of you down with me.
I mean, I can't fully argue with that point at times, but I think we all can be guilty of wasting time. But why I want to say is because I've actually worked with him before. I had a session with this man and it was so beautiful. And that's why I wanted to bring him to the show, because I think he's not only very gifted and talented in what he does, but I think he's got such a beautiful story of how he came about to have this skill and also his intention and motivation behind what he does in wanting to spread positivity and light to people. His Instagram page is a breath of fresh air. I love following it. I love his daily posts that come up with a little words of wisdom. And it's really beautiful. So today we have with us a medium psychic. His name is Travis Holp. I actually had a session with him. He gave some beautiful pieces that gave me so much to feel good about, things about my dad, things about my family, even a few things from my mom that brought healing and joy that was just so wonderful. So as Bryce said, I don't want to waste too much time. And I definitely think Travis is better at telling his own story than we are for him. So everybody, please welcome Travis Holp.
Hi, everybody.
There he is.
Hey, Travis.
How are you, Travis?
Hi, everyone.
Dude, thank you so much for being here, man. It's really great having you. Sharna has just sung your praises since she got a chance to speak to you and get a reading. So we're so excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my God, it's an honor and a pleasure. And Sharna, thank you. And I'm just so excited to be here. Thanks, everyone. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Travis. I'm prepared, by the way. I didn't know what to grab first. So
yeah.
We have crystal.
You know what's crazy? Randy, hold on. Do you want to know what's crazy? Do you know what's on my left side?
What? Yes. Yes.
You want to know what's right in front of me? My colostrum water. So I don't know if that adds to the conversation at all or to the fun of this little game.
I've got my coffee and the
Perfect.
Audacity tarot
Yeah.
card mug, so we're
I
good.
love it. I love it so much. Just for everyone that's listening, Travis and Randy have the exact same crystals on the exact same side that they have bought for today's session. So
Randy, is that what you went running for
That
in your
is.
place? So Travis, just to let you know, we have no idea. We're still learning about each other here, and we, Randy lives in Portland, so we don't spend any time at his home, and he has a home office, but we don't know much about it. And we learned a bit of the geography of it today because he was running around to grab these crystals, which we didn't know they were crystals. So we found out he has wooden stairs. He's on the second floor of the building.
And he wears clogs.
Yeah, and he wears Daniel Day-Lewis is carving his shoes every day.
Oh my God.
So, we're learning these things, and it's been amazing. So Travis, you have already just thrust us into a learning space. This is super exciting.
It's wonderful. I love
I
it.
have carpeted stairs, and I am
Okay.
on the third floor. So just since we're talking about our homes and stairs.
There you go. We also have carpeted stairs, which
we do,
I love,
but
by
we
the way.
are on the first floor of our home right now doing this.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We are.
So if you hear us running, and I do not have wooden shoes, Randy. So there's another difference between us.
For the record, I don't have wooden shoes. They are
Well,
not.
it sounded
they
like
look
it.
clog-ish, but
sounded
they
like
were just clicking on the stairs as I was
They're
running
clog
down.
adjacent. Yeah.
They're clog adjacent.
Okay, so you have shoes with heels on them, is what you're saying.
I prefer to call
you don't
them
have
rubber
clogs.
soles.
You have like 3-inch heels on your
It's
your
an
shoes.
elevated rubber sole.
Fantastic. Okay.
3 inches. It's 6 or nothing. It's
Yeah.
6.
Okay.
Don't even bother.
All
It's
right.
just-
Okay. Yeah. Right.
The
Anything below
wheels have
6,
come
they're not
off the bus.
real heels.
Yeah. You are my people. 6 or nothing.
So Travis, can we jump into this a little bit? Because we tried giving you a bit of an intro, but honestly, I'm sure you are just incredibly well versed in introing yourself. I'm dying to know where this started.
How did you find you had a gift?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. So I grew up in Ohio, in a pretty conservative town. And, it was kind of like, I attribute it to being gay. I'm gay, by the way, everyone, just in case you can't tell from the accent. So
A gay accent. I love you so much.
Yeah. I always say my accent's San Franciscan. Anyway, so when I was growing up, it was kind of like, I attribute it to when I was growing up gay, I just kind of thought everyone was. So, when I'm sensitive and I'm hearing things and I have things visiting me at night in my room and I'm sensing energy at my grandparents' home, I just thought everyone could do that. I had no idea that was something that was just happening with me.
Right.
And so as I got older, I kind of realized kind of like being gay. Not everyone's gay. It was just an assumption I made. So, so when I was growing up, it's something that, my parents, we weren't super religious, but we went to church enough. So I remember being young and being like, I can see spirits. And then, being told that's the devil, and so
right.
So I'm like these things.
Yeah, but I laugh. It's a very serious thing, but I make this joke that oh, my grandmother let me play with a Ouija board when I was a kid, and that's how all this happened, which she really did. And we would play with the Ouija board together, but that has nothing to do with, me being a medium. It's just something that we did. But yeah, so I suppressed it once I kind of, had this feeling that there was something inherently evil about it, or at least that's what I was told.
Right.
I was like, oh, I don't want to tap in. I'm scared. I'm frightened. And it wasn't until, years later when things started to kind of develop for me. And I really didn't have much of a say in the matter. It just kind of happened.
So now, was it terrifying for you when you were young and you would sense things in the room and you would know that spirits were there? I mean,
oh my gosh,
that to deal with?
Yeah. When you're a kid, that is kind of scary, right? Because it becomes the very real boogeyman in the closet. Although now, I understand, that's not what was happening. That was just coming through my very young child filter of, oh, there's shadow figures in the room. This is terrifying. Now, I mean, it just happened to me last night. Now I'm I get up and I'm like, okay, guys, go, seriously, give me a break. I need to sleep, right? I'm not afraid of it now, but when I was a kid, it terrified me.
Are you single? because
Yeah.
I can't imagine being your partner and like laying in a room with you and being like, there is something standing in the corner.
Yeah,
And you being like, oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
It's fine.
yeah,
It's nothing.
it's just your grandmother, honey. Don't worry about it.
Don't
She
worry,
says,
yeah.
buy me
Right.
flowers tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I am single and I do sleep alone, like, which is like a whole nother thing. Like, I like to sleep like diagonal in the bed, so I can't even imagine what's going to
Like a
happen if I
kid.
do date
Yeah.
someone.
Okay.
Where are they going to sleep?
Fair. Okay.
Oh, you
Get a
adjust.
diagonal bed.
Yeah,
in a
totally.
diagonal.
Yeah,
There's
you
big
just
beds,
need
you'll be fine.
to get a big mattress. You need to go like beyond Cal King. There's some other size that I've heard about that is like just a massive, it's like 2 Cal Kings put next to each other. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
maybe that's in your future. Maybe you've already seen that. See, I don't even know. You could absolutely be in touch with the fact that you are going to end up with a bigger bed in your place.
Listen, Brian, don't come for my gig, okay? Don't try to.
I'm just saying.
Wait,
just
that's
saying.
a really interesting question though. Like you have these things come to you sort of about other people in your presence that you can, that allow you to check into their energy, all those things. Do you have it about yourself too?
So when I listen to my own intuition, yes, but I get it kind of like everybody else does. I'll get like a little flash of a possibility, or I'll get like a knowing. I think me being where I'm at in my journey, I'm more prone to kind of listen to it, I think, but
Yeah.
I'm still stubborn. I'll be like, no, that's not going to happen. Right. And I go against my intuition, and then, I get the opposite of what I was wanting,
Right.
but I'm still human. So
That's what you focus on though when you're reading other people is not doing that, right? Just allowing yourself to be open to everything that comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just opening up my energy and just seeing, who wants to come through, who has a message. And then, in a lot of the work that I do as well, we do some psychic stuff. But for me, psychic stuff is less fortune telling, more of here's where the energy is. And if you want to shift it, here's how you can do that. So,
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
It almost seems like a form of healing. And I know that's a big word, but I think it's sort of what someone needs in that moment. So some people come for grief, I imagine, because they want to reach a loved one and they want some closure or some understanding, or someone comes because there's something about them. They're so frustrated and they want some information. Can you tell me something about me, Travis, so that I can feel better or I can know what to do? So would you say there's an element of self-healing in that?
absolutely. I love saying healers, we don't actually heal people. I call myself a healer, and I've been called a healer, and I've never healed someone. I simply just hold a possibility, a vibration for someone. And if they choose to let that in, great. If not, that's all right too. But I think that we live in such an interesting time right now. And I think that, as times kind of change and conditions change, people are looking more inward and wanting to know, how can I just feel better? And so me as a practitioner holding that energy in sessions, it can be extremely healing. I mean, there are times where I've gotten readings, because I still get them. I've got a psychic and a therapist. Like, I'm covered on both. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I feel it's a must for everyone.
yes,
Yeah.
everyone. But there'll be times where I'll get readings sometimes, and I'll hear something and I'll go, God, I didn't know I needed to hear that.
Mm.
And I do get that healing myself as well.
Looking for a healthy, natural mood boost? Boost your health and happiness with Happy Saffron Plus by Brain MD, the 3-in-1 formula for a better you. Happy Saffron Plus was developed by Dr. Daniel Amen, a double board certified psychiatrist and world-renowned leader in brain and mental health. It contains a mix of the most potent saffron, curcumin, and zinc, 3 clinically studied ingredients proven to improve mood, help support your memory, and decrease stress. Happy Saffron Plus is changing lives. Join the thousands already experiencing a happier, healthier lifestyle. Get Happy Saffron Plus with a special offer at gethappytoday.com, where you'll find the lowest price available anywhere. That's gethappytoday.com. Happy Saffron Plus. Make your brain and body happy. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Elevate your gifting this year with rare and exceptional bourbons, tequilas, scotch, wine, and champagne with personalized engraving, exceptional glassware, and more. From wines to whiskeys, there's a bottle for everyone. For a limited time, save $20 on your order of $150 plus with code IHEART at reservebar.com.
Could these study results apply to your life? If you or a loved one are living with HER2-positive metastatic breast cancer, take a look at the data for a clinical study where 50% of eligible people with HER2-positive MBC lived over 2 years without their tumors growing or spreading. Visit her2results.com to learn more.
I have to share with you something from the reading that you did for me. And I asked you things about my mum. And you shared that about things about my dad and their relationship, and that he had said he acknowledged that he should have been a better husband and that he should have done so much more, and that the love never stopped. And I shared that with her. And the tears and the healing that came from that, it was something she didn't know she needed to hear, but she is still working through resentment towards this man that, you know, had a great effect on her life, and not in a positive way. And to hear that, because I've found that healing with the man that's passed on, this version of him now, the spirit version, I have a beautiful relationship with him, but my mum hadn't reached that point. And I think what you gifted me that I gifted to her was an opening for her to find that healing, that forgiveness. And it was really beautiful to see her have that. So thank you so much for sharing that with me at the time. I just wanted to say thank you for that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that with me. And I love that for your mom. That's fantastic.
So to answer Randy's question, there is deep healing in it, you know, and it may not be you that heals them, but the things that come forward can be incredibly healing and a beautiful gift.
I can't imagine how tough it is when you've lost someone and there are so many wounds that are still there. And because the person is not in your space anymore necessarily, I think someone's tendency is to just sort of stuff those feelings down and go, okay, well, there's nothing I can do about that now. But they don't ever go away. And so I think what it is you do, that you still can connect people with people that have passed on, and you can create those bridges and you can heal those wounds and open up dialogue and allow people to hear things that they may have needed to hear is amazing. I think it's such, what it is you do is so valuable, I think. And people have no idea until they do it, just how valuable it is, because you don't know with people that have passed on how much unfinished business that there is and how many unfinished feelings that you have.
It's something that I think sometimes I don't really think about the impact until I hear things later, right? Like when I started doing this when I started doing it for money, I should say, like I've been doing it a lot longer, but when I first started doing this and I chose this as I was like, okay, this is going to be my profession. For me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is fun. I get to work from home. I get to work for myself, because I'd been in beauty for 17 years as
a makeup artist.
Sales. Yeah. I started as a makeup artist, and in my last role was a regional sales manager. And, and so it was just such a nice break. And I love people and I love helping people. But, when I took this on, I didn't take into account the potential impact that could have on people. So I'm just always amazed when people come back and they're like, you said this in my reading and it changed my life. Or I heard from this person who I didn't believe in life after death, and now I'm questioning that. And it's never my intention to change how somebody feels about what happens after we leave these physical vessels. But if I can give someone just that little bit of hope that there is something beyond here and our loved ones are watching out for us, and that healing in this lifetime is completely possible, then, I'm just so happy that I get to be able to do that. And it's such an honor to be able to do that.
Is this something that you used to do constantly with people that you were working with before you really started doing it? Like, were you just in sitting with people in chairs, you were like, can I just talk to you for a second? Like there's an energy standing next to me that has something to say.
So the medium thing, it's funny. I never tapped into the mediumistic aspect. It was always just like, oh, I'm hearing like this advice for you. And like, and I never was like, I'm getting this feeling about you. I always,
Yeah.
I come from like a background of like HR and management. You learn how to finesse words, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
in sales, right? So like they would share with me things that were going on, and people have just always felt comfortable opening up to me. And I would just share like, hey, have you thought about this? Or maybe you could try it this way. And it was the same thing when I was leading people. I love helping people succeed and do well. So, and that was one of the things I loved about being a manager and being in leadership for so long. But it's funny, like loved ones never really came through. It was only so I used to be a very heavy drinker. I've been sober for 3.5 years. And
Congratulations.
Yeah.
oh, thank you.
Congratulations.
I would get wasted and I would be at now this is where it gets creepy. You'll appreciate this, Brian. I'd be at guys' house.
Wait, you'll appreciate this, Brian.
I can't wait for this story.
We were talking about the boyfriend in the bed thing. I would be at guys' houses after like a date and I'd be wasted and I'd be like, there are two spirits here. And they would be like,
Oh, no.
get this guy out of my house. One guy, though, this was actually a while. So we had this like really wild night. And then where I grew up, there's a lot of historical homes. And so we went to his home with one of my friends. And I just like sat on the floor and I was like, there are two women that used to live here. And this is what they looked like. And this was their names. He pulled out the house ledger and was like, how did you know that?
Wow.
But it would only happen when I was like wasted.
Right.
So, I learned like, it's not like safe. We got to practice like spiritual hygiene, right? That's not a safe practice. But when I got sober and I started meditating, then it just kind of like, it just started flooding in.
Just kickstarted a whole thing.
There's so many parallels in our story. I was reading over your bio and the information last night. So I used to get wasted, and a similar thing would happen to me. I can't say it was exactly the same, but I would have all of these abilities, like all the abilities that I had when I was a child came back because I had no inhibition. So I just completely let it go. And I would say there were some cool things happening. Sometimes it was a bit mismanaged because, I wasn't necessarily practicing spiritual hygiene. But what was it? I mean, you had these gifts. You grew up in the town, sort of religious background. And then you ended up drinking heavily. So how did you, because when I see your videos on Instagram and Sharna's right, you have these unbelievably you can't help but go to your page and feel good when you go to it.
If somebody just glanced at your page, literally not even to watch anything, and they just look, like you look like one of the happiest human beings on the planet. Like it is literally just smiles all the way down your page.
Oh, thank you.
It's so incredible.
There's a lot of positivity. So it's either twofold. Either people feel amazing and they're so happy that they're there, or it brings up something uncomfortable in them because they're like, well, why am I not feeling like that? Right?
Yeah.
Like something triggering there.
Right.
But I'm just so curious to know, like, what is it that drove you specifically to drinking? Because you have all these abilities, you want to help people. You're so unapologetically you now, but how did you get here?
My gosh. So, I mean, back in the 1900s, no, I'm just kidding.
No, I feel you. I feel you on that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you went way back.
Everyone.
Okay, this is right.
So like when I came out at 18, well, I came out like a bunch of times. Like honestly, like my mom was in like such not God, I love that woman so much, but she was like, I don't know,
Just
headless
total
at some
denial
point
of
because
it.
I've just always been like big and so. And so when I came out, she had a really tough time with it. And I was finishing my senior year. I was just started my senior year of high school. And, we decided it'd be best that I didn't live in that house anymore. And so I was on my own. I ended up working at a gay bar, as you do in Ohio. And I ended up working at a gay bar as a go-go dancer, a drag queen, sex worker. I mean, like anything I could like do to make money, I did while I was supporting myself my senior year of high school. And so, for me, it was, I didn't, I had this really interesting past that I'm so appreciative of and so grateful now, because I needed to be that person to get to be this person.
Right.
But when you're 18, you're making those choices and you're in a bar. I mean, there's drugs everywhere, there's alcohol everywhere. And like, there really wasn't a lot of support in Ohio for the gay community. So my community was the bar and nightclub scene.
Right.
So eventually, when you're kind of running from all of this trauma and pain, and not only that, just the stuff I had from growing up, right, that I never addressed, eventually alcohol and drugs just seems like a very obvious choice, because it's, you know, it's a way to not deal with the pain that you're carrying. And so for a long time, I carried this like anger and shame and grief and all of these things. And, you know, it eventually it caught up with me. And I remember waking up on the floor 3.5 years ago. It was after a 3-day bender. I can't even tell you how much vodka I polished off in 3 days. And I woke up on the floor and I just heard a voice that said, if you keep drinking, you're going to die. And then I was like, well, what do I do? And the voice just said, meditate. And so over the last like 3.5 years, it's been like deep healing of, how old am I now? 37. So 34 years roughly of like trauma.
Yeah.
And not understanding that that's what I had been carrying, that unaddressed wounding. So alcohol for me was just a symptom of deeper stuff that needed to be addressed.
Makes sense.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by Brain MD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. And right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from Brain MD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Elevate your gifting this year with rare and exceptional bourbons, tequilas, scotch, wine, and champagne with personalized engraving, exceptional glassware, and more. From wines to whiskeys, there's a bottle for everyone. For a limited time, save $20 on your order of $150 plus with code IHEART at ReserveBar.com.
Could these study results apply to your life? If you or a loved one are living with HER2-positive metastatic breast cancer, take a look at the data for a clinical study where 50% of eligible people with HER2-positive MBC lived over 2 years without their tumors growing or spreading. Visit her2results.com to learn more.
Bri had mentioned how, you know, anyone could go to your page and it smiles all the way down and you have this beautiful positivity. But I'm wondering, in like hearing your story, you're 3.5 years into your sobriety, is it always smiles, or do you have days where that meditation needs to be a little deeper or is a little more important, or do you still have your days where you struggle with it too?
No, I'm like this all the time, and anybody who has bad feelings or something wrong with you.
I'm never struggling.
Anyone that's not is less
You're
than me.
Human.
Of course. You know what I think is so beautiful about just the journey that I've been on is just the value in sitting in those deeper emotions. I've always been a person who felt their emotions so deeply, like the deepest deeps and the highest highs. And I think that's what helps me be a really good practitioner, because I am very sensitive to my energy, other people's energy. But, you know, when you're growing up and you have these abilities, nobody's like dropping a handbook off at your front door and it's like, here's how you deal with it, right?
Right.
When you're in Ohio and you're sensitive and your family kind of looks at you like, what the hell is wrong with you?
Mm.
Right. And then it's not till later you're like, oh my gosh, I'm completely normal. And like, this is totally fine to have these emotions. The key for me has just been not letting the deeper emotions get a lot of momentum,
Right.
sitting with it as it's coming up and being brave to do that work.
Right. We always talk here about the value of struggles in life, and that when you're going through things, you're sitting in them and you're going, I can't, what could possibly be the silver lining in this?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get through it, and whether it's 6 months later, whether it's 5 years later, you look back on it and you go, I am so happy that that is what happened in my life, because that absolutely made the person that I am now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think something that happens in spirituality is we teach people to try to find that silver lining a little too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Is that
think,
called spiritual bypassing?
yeah, spiritual bypassing, right? Like you can't go from despair to joy in one quick step, right? And it's not realistic. I think if you're practicing it, you can get there faster. But I think for
Right.
the average everyday person, like it's not possible. So one of the things that I really like to teach and I talk about a lot is just reach for the next thing that feels like relief. Like you can't change your situation right away and a lot of times, and that's okay. And it's okay if you can't feel good about something that's tough, but you can reach for something that just feels like a little bit of relief.
How about
I love that.
maybe instead of creating some sort of silver lining to cope with something, just knowing in your heart that there will be a silver lining, and that just being enough to know that, okay, this sucks now, but
Yeah.
I will get through this. And
Yeah.
maybe that's enough for
Yeah.
people.
Absolutely it is.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like the vehicle keeps on moving. I think of a lot of times with spirituality,
Mhm.
what I hear from people is like, I want to know my purpose, which is understandable. I think as human beings, we all want to have purpose and meaning and feel that we're living that way. But for some, it's like, am I there yet? Am I still dealing with this? Like this finish line of being
Mhm.
awakened, so to speak.
Yeah.
And something that I'm curious to hear your take on this for all of you. I don't think there is a there yet. I think it is just a continuation, and you get there and you go, okay, the cog fell in the wheel, and in this moment I feel really present and everything makes sense, and I can feel the universe, and then there's going to be something to kind of throw you off a little bit, and then you get back in there, and hopefully you put more and more time together where you're in that groove. How do you see it?
Well, I'm fully awakened and I've arrived. So no, I'm
All
totally
right.
I'm totally kidding.
Right.
Have
My journey's
arrived.
finished.
Yeah, I'm done, guys. So
Apparently
I'm
you
just
guys aren't done.
I'm just
I
here.
am just there. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think all of our purpose here is expansion. I believe that's why we're all here. And I think we have a choice. It can either be joyful or not, and we get to choose how we lean into that. But I think that, and especially my work as a medium, what I've learned is that there is no physical death, and our leaving this physical vessel is another part of greater expansion. So it's like we kind of just keep expanding. And some fun fact I've learned, I did not know this, our own universe is still expanding.
Mm.
So now I've been telling people, I'm like, our own universe isn't done expanding yet. So what makes you think you get to be done? Like,
Right. Totally.
Good point.
I think that there's these beautiful lessons in nature and in science and in the universe that definitely still that have a lot of parallels with spirituality, that we're still growing, we're still expanding. And I agree. I don't think we ever get to a place where we're arrived, enlightened, all of that. I do think that we get to a place, though, where we understand that that's just going to continue to happen. And there's going to be moments where we have tough, deep emotions that we have to sit with, but it's okay because we've developed some tools to be able to sit with those things and understand that those very things, that contrast that we're here experiencing, is what leads to continued expansion.
Love that expansion, looking at
that's
it
really
and just
good.
expanding and expanding.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Sharna, Brian, can you remember, have you ever had like a deeply, deeply psychic, intuitive moment that you remember?
Oh, like personally?
Yeah.
So I kind of psychic, like little things. Like when we were at the airport, I just knew that I knew on some level that we were going to have trouble and we needed to get to our gate
You knew it
before
from
we're
before we
running
left
through
the
the air.
house.
Right.
Yeah,
Before
before we
we're
even
running
left the
You
through
house.
the
I
said,
airport.
you
knew.
said, Brian, you said, I had this sinking feeling all
I
morning.
did. I totally did. I was like, no, we need to go now. Like, 3 hours to get. Oh, we should go now. We should give ourselves the full 3 hours. But I have always had the ability of manifesting things. Even when I was younger, I remember like going into stores and looking around, and the thing that I really, really wanted, whether it was a CD at like Virgin or Sam Goody or something, wasn't there, or a toy, and I would look everywhere and it wasn't anywhere, and I was like, and I'd have those sinking feelings of oh man, they just they must be out of them. And then I'd be really bummed about it. And then I would look literally right in the middle of the rack, like right in front of me, and there would be one copy of the CD or the toy or the thing that I wanted. And that would happen constantly, to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just going to accept that I can do this and not think that something is wrong with me in that happening. And that's something really cool that I'm able to do.
I want everyone listening too. I mean, to think of any place where this happens in their life, because
Yeah.
I'm just so interested in people discovering their own abilities. Because I think people see someone like Travis, like you, and they're like, oh my gosh, he is so amazing, which he is. But it's sort of like this separation. Like they can do that. That's for them, not for me. And I think we all have different gifts. It might come in different ways. You might hear something where it just sounds like your own thought, but it really is a message. Or you might feel something and be more clairsentient and sense things. But like we all have this. So it's just so fascinating to me that we could pay more attention to the times where it does happen and then normalize that. The more that trust is turned up, the more that those abilities can start coming online.
I definitely know over the years I've been a powerful manifester. Like my very first moment that I remember of it, and I don't know if this is manifest or like predicting the future. I had not even started ballroom dancing lessons yet. So I would have been maybe 6 years old. I'm sitting at a ballroom dancing competition. I think I'm sitting on my mum's lap. I'm there and I point to this boy who was dancing on the floor and he got like first place. And I said to my mum, I'm going to dance with that boy. And he was like the best in Wagga Wagga at the time in the grade. She was like, okay, sweetheart. And then a year later, I was dancing with that boy.
Wow.
And she tells me the story. I'm like, that's crazy. And I know I can manifest parking spots and all sorts of different things that can just come to me when I feel in that powerful high frequency vibration space. If I'm not feeling in that, I know if I'm getting caught up in the minutia of things or the negative space of things, then those things don't come to me as easily. I'll bump my knee that morning and then is a cluster of things that happen throughout the day that progressively get worse and worse. You know what I mean? But if I'm on my game with my meditation, my positivity, my gratitude journaling, those things, I know that I can call those things into me. I don't know that I would ever, you speak about people having gifts, have the ability to be a medium psychic. But I know that when it comes to me, I can manifest powerfully.
Travis, are you just all day long like trying to keep yourself in as healthy a space as possible to
be able to do what you
to
do,
be open to things and to manifest things and to do what it is you do? Because like Sharna was saying, like unless you're in the right space and the right frame of mind, it's I can stray from that space so easily.
Yeah, it's definitely kept me accountable to like feeling the best that I can all day long, which is like not a bad thing, right?
No, it's not.
Right.
Like I make sure I get enough sleep, I make sure I get enough water, I eat well, I go to the gym first thing in the morning, I work out 5 or 6 days a week, and then, I meditate to, once or twice a day. Like I mean, I have to be honest, I'm so thankful for this because I look back at my life before this and it wasn't a great space. And like Sharna's saying, I think at some points in my life, I can definitely see where I was able to manifest. But now that I'm in this space, like it's like synchronicities and manifestation like all day long. And it's so
Amazing.
fun. But like everyone can do this. I think it's like this. I equate it to like singing, right? Technically, everyone can sing. Not everyone needs to do it professionally, but you can do it in your car. You can do it in the shower, right? Like everyone can do it.
Yeah.
I was going to say I could probably challenge that theory, but we won't do it right here on the
professionally. That's the key word.
Blow out everyone's speakers. Right.
I did challenge that theory.
Cool.
Yeah.
I have been singing professionally for years now. I don't understand it's all come pretty easy for me.
I love it.
You can rap. We know that about you. You're awesome.
I got kicked off The Masked Singer after 2 episodes. So apparently my voice isn't fantastic. Or it's just too good. They were like, it's too much of an engine.
Put everyone else
really
to shame.
it hurts to have you here.
Yeah.
It's all how you frame it.
Kick him
right?
off. Too much.
It's all how you visualize it. Right. Totally.
That's awesome.
Tired of endless diets and weight loss struggles? It's time to say goodbye to frustration and hello to results. Introducing Smart Metabolic Burn from BrainMD, your breakthrough solution to fight stubborn body fat. Imagine burning fat, balancing glucose levels, and regulating metabolism in just 12 weeks. This unique 2-in-1 product combines the power of 2 clinically studied ingredients in one revolutionary formula. Berberine, which targets abdominal fat, and OEA, which curbs your appetite. With just 2 capsules a day, Smart Metabolic Burn by BrainMD can kickstart your metabolism, fight stubborn body fat, especially that pesky abdominal fat, and support your weight management journey. Right now, save over 30% on Smart Metabolic Burn at GetSmartBurn.com. The lowest price anywhere. That's GetSmartBurn.com. Don't delay. Transform your life with Smart Metabolic Burn from BrainMD. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Elevate your gifting this year with rare and exceptional bourbons, tequilas, scotch, wine, and champagne with personalized engraving, exceptional glassware, and more. From wines to whiskeys, there's a bottle for everyone. For a limited time, save $20 on your order of $150 plus with code IHEART at reservebar.com.
Could these study results apply to your life? If you or a loved one are living with HER2-positive metastatic breast cancer, take a look at the data for a clinical study where 50% of eligible people with HER2-positive MBC lived over 2 years without their tumors growing or spreading. Visit her2results.com to learn more.
So I'm curious, as for instance, you were coming on the podcast today. Do you get messages? We're not going to put you on the spot and ask you to share any messages that you got. But
unless something ridiculous comes through of some singing coach that is passed that is telling you, yes, Brian is one of the best singers I've ever heard. I don't be afraid to share that.
Right.
Yeah, unless it's super validating to one of us, and then of course
exactly.
share away.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Right. It's what my ego needs to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But do you receive information about people, or do you sort of put yourself in the space to then be open when you're going to be with someone, and then information comes through?
That's a great question. So I had to learn spiritual boundaries from the very beginning, and I feel so thankful. Like when I decided that I was going to take this journey professionally and continue to open up, like mentors just fell right on my path. Like all of the cooperative components fell on my path. And so I learned about spiritual hygiene very early, thank goodness, because you can burn yourself out, and you can, like, it's not healthy to be open all of the time, even as people, right? Like even just people who aren't mediums, like we need time to recharge our energy and rebalance, right?
Yeah. And clear out negative energy that's been around.
Yeah. I don't want to hear from the spirit world all day long. God love it. And they, like, because here's the thing, if you are open like that and you're delivering messages constantly and not shutting it off, you will receive consistently. And I'm not going to say it doesn't happen where sometimes you don't get a quick little visit. Like I said last night, like I woke up and I'm like, okay, guys, like I need to sleep. Please leave. But when it comes to just my everyday life, like I'm not on the couch watching like, reruns of the Golden Girls and I'm like, oh my God, I've got so and so's mom here with me. I do shut it down. Now, I will say in the morning before I start seeing clients, I will occasionally get like, okay, I'm going to connect with a dad today. I'm going to connect with a
Yeah. Is it like
friend
Cheers in the morning? It's like just a packed bar and there's
little
just
bit, like I'll be at
chattering
breakfast
going on
bar is
all around
popping.
you of
Yeah.
like what's
sometimes, but I've got some really good boundaries that I've learned how to kind of clear that. Something that did happen though. So I've always had what I thought was like anxiety, right? That just never went away. And I used to, and it used to really get to me. And when I learned later, I'm like, oh my gosh, some of my anxiety is me feeling energy. And it took me a while to kind of learn that. Cause like if we do can we do some quick spirit math really quick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's just say,
I sucked at math as a kid, but let's jump in.
Oh no. Listen, we're going to keep it real small. So let's just say it's just me and Sharna here. We're going to pretend it's just me and Sharna.
Okay.
So if I'm with Sharna,
yeah.
So there's two of us, right?
Yes.
But then I have one spirit guide. We have more, but let's just say one for the sake of argument. And Sharna has one. So now there's four of us.
Okay.
So then you've got two angels. I've got two angels. So now there's 8 of us.
Oh my God.
Sharna, you have at least 2 loved ones in spirit. I have at least 2 loved ones. We have way more than that, right? But again, sake of math, I only have so many fingers and toes. We've got now 12 energies here together. So if you are somebody who is tuned in and intuitive, right? It's going to be challenging going out to nightclubs or to movie theaters or concerts because you're going to constantly be feeling. And so you really have to learn how to close that down, protect your energy. So that way you're not feeling all that. Cause so I was in Vegas this past weekend seeing Kylie Minogue and,
love that.
Spiritually. I get that.
That was a spiritual experience. And so
yeah,
we're at the new Sphere attraction, me and one of my friends, we're at the Sphere and we're watching the film. We're waiting for it to start. And this woman sits next to me and she's very lovely. And she starts talking and I had shut down before we went out, but like things come through sometimes. It just happens. And so I'm sitting there and I get the anxiety like right here I get it right in my solar plexus chakra. And it's just, for those of you that can't see, it's just right below the heart. And so I was just like, okay, who needs to say something? And I just got a really quick flash, husband, brain cancer. And the woman's talking and she goes, a minute later, she goes, yeah, I'm just traveling the country in an RV. My husband died about a year or 2 ago from brain cancer. And I'm just, she was like, I'm just driving around kind of figuring out life. She goes, so what do you do, Travis? And I was like, well, I'm a medium. And she goes, of course you are. And she goes, of course you are. So, so things like that will happen. I'm not the type of medium though, that's going to be like, hey, I've got this message for you from a loved one. So
you're not invasive with it. You're not like,
I think we see those things on TV and that's very much designed for TV. And I don't think a lot of folks realize that the person that's getting the spontaneous reading is actually in on it. So I don't do that, but I will sometimes receive and it just happens. So I do my best to kind of close off before I go out in public, but sometimes things get through.
What's something that still blows your mind? I mean, I know you've been doing this a long time, but what's something that it just makes you feel in awe?
The stuff that flies out of my mouth during readings. Because, when I'm in that state, I'm just talking and things are just coming through. And, I work evidentially. And if someone's not familiar with what that means, it's, I'm bringing through the essence of the spirit, talking about what they were like, details about them, how they passed, their relationship to you, things like that. Just so the client knows, like, this is who I'm connecting with. This is the energy that I've got. And, so, it's always interesting to me when something so specific comes through. And I think a lot of the information specific, but it was just like that one thing. I was with a client the other day and we're finishing up her reading. We're at like the very end, and I was like, oh, by the way, there's like one thing I want to talk about, like who's getting married. There's a wedding coming up, and her grandmother was in spirit, and that's who we were connecting with. And she goes, oh my God, I'm getting married. And then I'm like writing something down. I've got a 5. I was like, are you getting married in like 5 weeks, 5 months, or the month of May? Because I just get the numbers or the symbols, right? And sometimes it's like figuring it out. She was like, oh my God, I'm getting married in May. I was like, oh my God, well, I just want to let you know that your grandma says there ain't no mountain high enough that's going to keep her away from this wedding. And she goes, my mom and me and my grandmother, that was our song, and we are dancing to it at the wedding.
Oh, chills.
I love
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna cry.
So it's like
too emotional.
Yeah, it's things like that. It's when, I'll be doing a reading, then all of a sudden my Alexa starts going off in the other room, and or the Zooms act weird. I'm amazed every day. And every day is different. I never know what's coming through until I'm in the reading.
You talk about spiritual boundaries. Do you ever come up against moments and things where you go, no, I don't think I should share that?
I was actually going to ask
like
that exact same question.
Space.
Like, do things come through sometimes and you're like, that is not, I shouldn't be speaking about that.
I look at it this way. I think if it comes up in a reading, it's my job to share it. I do have certain bits of information that I let clients know beforehand. Like, I'm not going to tell you if your spouse is cheating. Like, that's just not something I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you if you should or you shouldn't get divorced. I'm not going to tell you if somebody's going to die anytime soon, because I wouldn't get that information anyway, right? Like, so I do have those boundaries, but I look at it this way. If there's something really hard that's coming through, one, I'm a super compassionate and I'm non-judgmental when I'm in that space, because I'm just a channel and I'm just sharing. And the other piece of it is, I think if the person is there, they probably already know, or they're ready to hear it. So, it's part of the job. Sometimes we have to share things that aren't always comfortable to talk about, but it's needed. I just trust that when those things come through.
Right. There's obviously boundaries, like you said, like you're not going to say,
oh yeah.
Would there be things like this is a true hypothetical. Yeah. You have to take your mum to the doctor to get her checked for this disease. Are there ever things that come up like that you feel you can share, or do you have to let life take its course?
Like a nudge
to do something?
There's been a couple of times where that's happened, where it will come through where it's this one isn't as serious, but it could have been serious. There was this this young lady who I was connecting with, and her grandfather came through, and I was like, your grandfather keeps like talking about your car, and he's talking about like, you need to go get it checked. And she was like, that's really funny, because in life he always told me to go get my car checked. She was like, because I don't take care of my car. And the next day she went to go have her car checked, and there was oil leaking into the engine.
Oh wow.
But I didn't know that's what was going on. I'm just like, he's saying, go check your car. Right. And so it saved her car. And then there'll be occasional things where health comes up, but I don't dive too much into health. But if something comes up, I'm like, hey, your loved one's talking about somebody here in the physical with the kidney issues. Maybe just make sure they're staying on top of their appointments, so.
I love that. Yeah. Very cool.
What is the number one thing that people ask you or want to know about? I mean, I know that's a tough question, but I'm sure there are the one or two things where it's like, it's pretty much a guarantee. Like if somebody's coming to me
with mediumship, everybody wants to know that their loved one is okay. And the answer is always better than ever.
Yeah.
They want to just know that their loved ones are okay, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to watch a lot of John Edwards, and I've watched some different mediums, and something that always stood out to me was they were talking about their loved ones, and they would get this message, and they would be moved by the message, but it seemed like there was a deeper level. They were more moved by the preciseness of it, because that preciseness proved to them that there is life beyond this, that there's something more. And that seemed to be what expanded people the most, was not just the wrap up and the healing of, okay, this person's okay, and they're looking out for me, but this there's more, there's something more cosmic than just this like third dimensional experience rat race that I'm living.
Yeah. No, yes, I do find that that is what moves people the most, right? Because I think a lot of people come into reading skeptical. I go into reading skeptical, and I think that there's a certain level of that that is incredibly healthy.
Sure.
But no, I do find that is something that a lot of folks find relief in. And it gets their minds kind of starting to wonder, like, okay, well, if there is more after this life, am I doing everything I can to be happy, to do things that fill me up with joy? Because this experience, it's temporary, but we also expand into something else. And I think that's the true purpose of mediumship. There's the closure piece and helping people work through grief, absolutely. But there's also that, we are all energy, and we know that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. And so it would stand to reason that if we are energy and we come into these physical vessels, that when this physical vessel is gone, we expand into something else. What that is, I have no idea.
Right.
But I think that, yeah, it does give people that hope that there is
Energy can either be created or destroyed. I really like that. That resonated with me.
Well, that was Einstein. That wasn't me, but I'll take credit for it.
But I mean,
I think that's a law. That's a physics law of Newton,
is a physics
right?
law. So there are things in physics that we know to be true about energy, right? And what I love is that we haven't been able to prove what happens after we leave this physical body. Like, no one knows, which is, it gives me hope, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of near-death experiences and all of these similar type stories.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, it all went, the sound went weird for a second.
This is what happens when you invite the medium to the Zoom. Sorry, guys.
Exactly. To be fair, we've never had that happen before. So there you go. You brought someone with you.
It happens in almost every single mediumship session, and I got the good internet in this house. So
yeah, I bet you do. So Randy, you were saying there's thousands and thousands of, what was it, near-death experiences?
Yeah, I mean, so many accounts of near-death experiences where you hear similar type things. I mean, there's all these things about, 21 grams leave the body when you go. Now there's quantum physics, which is a whole other field where it's sort of like science meets spirituality. And I feel like it's getting harder and harder to deny that there's something. Again, I don't know what that is. And sometimes, at least for me, sometimes putting it into words dampens it down and lessens it, because the mind is such a construct where it's like, how can you describe infinity, which is limitless, to a mind which is limited? It's like, how can you squeeze that in? So sometimes I don't even like to define it, but it's like, I feel like it's getting harder and harder to, I mean, all the people that I talk to, I'm sure you all have these conversations too. When I was talking to people about this in my early 20s, I was the odd one. I was weird. I was the oddball out, and my friends would make fun of me. Oh, you're reading these books with purple writing, and you're talking to who? And there's
the science is catching up to all of this now. Like it's becoming much more scientific than it was before. It was much more like magical, like woo-woo, crazy, and totally.
Yeah, now it's more normalized. So, Travis, what is something that you would want people to know? I mean, is there any message, whether it's from you, whether it's something through you, that the audience who's listening to this, you'd want them to know?
I would want people to know to pay attention to how you feel. How we feel is so important. It's such a good gauge of where we are in relation to where it is we want to be. And our feelings are always valid. The thought that comes with them, not so much. So, pay more attention to how you feel. Notice where you're holding tension in the body. Notice that you're releasing it. Notice the thoughts that come up that inspire you, or notice the things that feel aligned. Just pay attention. I think that's the biggest thing that a lot of us can do, because we live in this wonderful world. We are in the most expansive place in the world where we have ever been. And of course, there's a duality to everything, right? So we're in the most expansive time. We're also in a time where there is a little bit, there is despair, and there are things that are happening that are not comfortable to look at or to see.
Mm-hmm.
But if we can just tune into that inner knowing and pay close attention to how we feel and work towards relief, this world can be such a great place, and it already is. But if you want to be more aware of your own expansion, just pay attention to how you feel. That's all you need.
I love that. You know why I love that?
Wonderful.
Because when you originally said, the first time you said, pay attention to how you feel, and don't worry about the thought that come with it. So it was so easy for my brain to be like, pay attention to when things don't feel good. Do you know what I mean? Like recognize and acknowledge. But then you kept talking. It's like, no, pay attention to the things that feel good.
Yes.
That's the point. Like, pay attention to the way things feel. Have more of that aligned in your life. It will help you find what's aligned for you. I love that, because even me that works on positivity and all the good things and the good stuff, my brain originally like straight away went to, oh, when things like feel hurtful or sad or bad, or like pay attention.
You feel. Right.
But also pay attention to the things that feel good. I love that. That's a beautiful piece of advice.
That should be a meme.
Yeah.
Travis Holp, everyone. No, because same thing with feelings and thoughts. We as human beings tend to go toward the negative. Pay attention to the pain. And I think that's really important.
Don't ignore it. Like, very important.
Right. But also
pay attention to the success and the good feeling as well.
Yeah.
Take the wins.
Yeah. Take the wins. Yeah. Love it.
Travis, you're awesome.
Travis,
y'all are awesome.
It was so great talking to you. Again, thank you so much for being here. For anybody that wants to check out Travis, he's on Instagram, Travis Warrior Unicorn, which I saw Warrior Unicorn behind you on the wall. Yeah.
Yep,
so
there it is.
Yes.
Or you can go to his website, travisholp.com. He's there.
Yes. Thank you.
I do recommend people talk with you.
Dude, you're the man. I absolutely at some point would love to.
I want to have a reading too. I was like, when am I going to schedule my
so
reading?
don't be surprised if all of a sudden you get in your inbox, you get, some a request from me.
And you know what I love? I just want to shout out, because it's one of the things on your videos. You're like, and if you don't believe in all this stuff, just think of me, your favorite gay uncle that knows some shit. And I'm like, I love that about you, because because even whatever people believe, these things that you share on your page are so beautiful and digestible and important. And I think something relatable for anyone, regardless of where you sit on mediumship and psychics and all the things. Just your pieces of advice alone are such a gift. And again, a breath of fresh air on my feet. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's one of those things that just kind of flew out of my mouth one day, and now like I can't not say it, because
you waving around your crystals as you say it's like my favorite part of my day when I see you come up on my feed. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Travis, we don't want to keep you here any longer than we have, but thank you so much again for joining us. And please come back if you have anything else to talk about, anything else that you've discovered and want to share. This is absolutely a place for you to do it. Thank you.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Travis.
Thanks, Travis.
Thank you. Bye, Travis.
Bye. Yay.
Isn't he awesome?
How fun was that? Oh my gosh.
So amazing. I'm so envious of the fact that you have had a reading with him, baby.
Have a session with him. He is.
We're going to blow up his inbox now, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally. Everyone should blow up his inbox. He is so friendly and kind. Obviously, he can work over Zoom and whatever it is.
How crazy was it? We should absolutely acknowledge the fact that the internet started doing weird things at that one point when he was speaking, and all of a sudden, like the internet connection was bad, and it's like I know we have a good internet connection here. Yeah. Randy is on Zoom all day long. So he's like, his internet connection's got to be amazing. And Travis is also. So it's
just a little disruption in the system.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. But science is catching up to all of this. It's really amazing to see and learn about.
You know what I'm curious about? I really want to hear from all of you listening. I want to know where you're at with this. Have you had any of these experiences? What's your take on life after death or past lives or spirituality? Would you like to connect with loved ones who aren't here. I mean, where are you at with all of this? I'd love to get a temperature of where you're at.
Yes, definitely. Me too.
Please continue to reach out to us at Oldish Pod or at 855 Oldish 3. Right.
Yeah.
Or you can fax us at, I'm just kidding. We don't have a, but Randy does accept pages, and his pager number is.
You know what? For shits and giggles, we should have a fax number because we are oldish.
You know what's so funny, Brian, when you were talking about the CDs in Sam Goody, I mean, these names that were such a blast from the past. Totally. I felt like I had to explain then what a CD is, because I talk to people these days when they're like,
they're like, what are you talking about? Right, totally.
It's crazy.
A compact disc, my God.
I haven't said the name Sam Goody in years, and when I said that, I was like, oh my goodness, there it is. It's amazing what the brain holds on to, and you think it's gone.
It was right there. And the fact that we have evolved to a place where we don't have to do this.
Oh, I know. Wipe CDs off on the shirt before you play them.
Spraying it, putting it in a disc cleaner. I had one of those where I had to wind
where
up
you would wind it, and it would like kind of take off the top layer of crud and scratches and stuff and make it smooth again.
Yeah, Sharna, not for you, right?
No, I don't feel I ever had that. That doesn't bring back any memories for me.
Right. I'm gonna go lick my wounds. Good to see you both.
Bye, everybody.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes, you guys are amazing. Make sure you guys go and follow us on Instagram at @OldishPod. And you can also go and leave us a message at our own hotline, which is 855-OLDISH-3.
Make sure and write us a review. Leave us 5 stars if you loved it. Leave us 5 stars if you didn't.
We love 5 stars. We love 5 stars.
Yeah. We like 5 stars.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week, everyone.
For 25 years, Brightview Senior Living has been dedicated to creating an award-winning company culture so residents and families receive best-in-class services. Across our 50 communities, Brightview associates help deliver peace of mind, safety, security, transportation, daily programs, delicious food, and high-quality care if needed. Discover how our vibrant senior living communities can help you live your best life. Visit brightviewseniorliving.com to learn more. Equal housing opportunity.
Does money stress you out? Let Facet flip your financial chaos into clarity.
Finding Facet immediately put us at ease.
Facet's innovative approach to financial planning ensures your money works as hard as you do, enabling members to experience the joys of having your finances in order.
And that makes us Facet for life now, I guess.
Visit Facet.com, FACET.com to learn more. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice. These testimonials are from current Facet members who are not compensated. All opinions are their own and not a guarantee of a similar outcome.
Problems with stress and low libido? Did you know that saffron has been used for over 3,000 years as a natural aphrodisiac booster? Happy Saffron Plus contains the most potent saffron in the market, plus curcumin and zinc, to enhance mood and improve memory in a 3-in-1 single product that is vegan, sugar-free, and gluten-free. Developed by a world-renowned leader in brain and mental health, Happy Saffron Plus increases happiness and mood, reduces stress, and helps improve sexual function and libido. Happy Saffron Plus delivers hard-hitting brain and body benefits, so you'll find yourself experiencing better memory, mood, and libido. Join the thousands of people who are living better lives thanks to Happy Saffron Plus. Get your Happy Saffron Plus with a special offer at GetHappyToday.com. The lowest price is only available at GetHappyToday.com. Enhance your quality of life, mood, memory, and stress levels with Happy Saffron Plus. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Our products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.